G'day and welcome to Wine Week. I'm Danny.
And I'm Brad.
And we're back behind the desk here in the Pseudo Vineyard again. Last week out on location, talking lovely high-end wines. But this week, let's start with something a little bit more hip pocket friendly. And we're all watching the waistline around the wallet at the moment. This, a beautiful $15 quaffer, the Jack Mattinsons. Now, Mattinson, you've probably heard us talk the name before. Campbell Mattinson behind this one. Campbell, obviously one of the writers behind the Big Red Wine book, and we also looked at the Mountain Cross last year, a Pinot Shiraz blend. He obviously likes his blends. The book these days is not just him, also Gary Walsh involved. This, a Shiraz-Cabernet blend, mostly Shiraz, a splash of Cabernet in there, a good splash of Cabernet in there, and $15, beautiful quaffing territory. Definitely a midweek to even a Friday night, easy Friday night wine. Lovely. It's probably a little bit brighter than some of the Shiraz Cabernets out there that you might have tasted, and that's not a bad thing. And at $15, that makes it really good value. A lot of them, you know, the Shiraz Cabernet blend is designed to just kind of mellow everything out, but you don't always want mellow. Sometimes you want something with a little bit of character, a little bit of vibe behind it, and this definitely has it. A lovely wine, great for $15, so if you can find it, make sure you grab a bottle.
Yeah, and look, it's always good to try some wines that are done by the wine scribes, because they know what they're talking about, and whether they can convert that into real wine, well, Campbell's done a good job here.
I think he has.
All right, now speaking of people who are doing good jobs at the moment, the folks down at Yabby Lake are in pretty good form. You might recall we had a look at their Pinot a little while ago. Pinot down the Mornington Peninsula we've tended to rave about. The other one we've been talking up a fair bit recently is Chardonnay from the Mornington Peninsula. Seems like those two grapes are really the red and the white for the territory down there. So the Yabby Lake Chardonnay, this is the 2008 we've got here, the new release. Really a good follow-up. The 2007 was good down there. The 2008's looking really sharp as well, and it is one of those Chardonnays that we have waxed on about recently that is really, it's pulled back on the overdone winemaking techniques, and it's really letting the fruit shine through. Now that's not to say this has got a little bit of oak there, but it's really used in balance with the fruit characters, and there's a nice little hint of some sort of mineral characters with this one as well. So it's it really does give that bit of complexity right up front in a young wine. But look, even this will soften out over the next year or two, and it'll be drinking quite nicely. Retails around the mid-40s, so it's certainly not at the cheap end. But you know, when you consider some of the other Chardonnays from down the Mornington Peninsula, or perhaps across in Margaret River, that are pushing up above that price, this one really battles it out quite nicely with those top-end Chardonnays. So it's the Yabby Lake Chardonnay, really worth having a look at.
Yeah. Now, if you haven't hit it yet, Wine Week Radio. Search on iTunes or just hit our website, wineweek.com.au. Last week we talked all about the re-emergence of Chardonnay. So, you know, a nice little audio podcast with a good friend of ours, Caroline, on the show as well. But let's talk some more wine again here. And Brad mentioned 08 versus 07. This, an 07 Cabernet from the Coonawarra. This is the Wynns Glengyle. Now, Wynns Coonawarra, probably best known for, you know, churning out masses of grape wine, as in a mass-produced grape wine, but they also do some little single vineyard stuff, and this, the Glengyle, is one of those examples. So it's not super cheap, unlike, say, the Black Label or the Red Stripe, but it is in a step above, you know, yet again. This is a great, I really, really liked this one when I first saw it, and that was great for me because the Alex 88, which was kind of last year's single vineyard release, I fell in love with, and I was a little bit worried that maybe the next single vineyard to come out might not live up to that expectation. Absolutely no concerns anymore. This is a ripper, an absolute ripper. Not super cheap, but single vineyard stuff isn't. It just never is. If you've got the chance to grab some of these, put them in a nice little wine fridge for a couple of years, this will turn out to be a truly gorgeous wine. So, Wynns Coonawarra Estate, Glengyle, look out for it. Grab it if you can find it. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually been great to try. The last couple of years, Wynns have just been throwing out these new little wines, and they're really good form. So it's enjoying their work.
Yes, Sue Hodder in absolute stunning form at the moment. Anyhow, that's it for this week on Wine Week. We'll see you all again next week.
See you next week.